The reason this karmic holding on to this masculine is because he proposed to her, but he's not going to propose because she has to tell the truth. They didn't trust the process that, I guess they were saying, what's taking her so long to tell us. Like they was expecting divine feminine to come to the park and give them lessons. Because it's like, okay, we told you what we need help with. Why don't you tell us? Because she don't know who it's coming from. And she said, well, when we tell you. Because I feel like if they said, oh, I'm going to help you with this, and they didn't, that it was supposed to make divine feminine upset enough to tell them to their face about what they, I don't know. Because then it was a situation where it's like, you're not supposed to tell them. They're supposed to figure it out on their own. But I feel like at the time they wanted divine feminine to do it, divine feminine wasn't ready. So they saying, oh, since you playing with us, we finna play with you. Like you claim to like girls and you over here flirting with us and all that stuff like that. But it's like divine feminine never, or they feel like divine feminine was communicating with them telepathically, telling them stuff. And the reason why divine feminine was acting a different type of way was because it wasn't divine feminine's energy. So they took divine masculine to teach divine feminine a lesson. And it says, tell the truth. Thought divine feminine would sneak this in, but it's really these karmics. And that's what's, yeah. So because the stud told the karmic, so basically the karmic feel like she being laughed at by these karmics, because it's like, yeah, we told you to do this, but they must have found out divine feminine's power, and they said, well, since we can't get a reaction out of her, let's see if this karmic could get a reaction out of her. And they promised this karmic that they would be with her, or the stud promised the karmic that they would be with her. I don't know, because it's like the masculine was just using the karmic to get to divine feminine. And the stud used the karmic to distract divine masculine. And BM number 2 did this to make divine feminine miss out on her opportunity with the masculine, because she knows everything that he provides. And she knows that divine feminine, she know that the masculine is what divine feminine is looking for. But she didn't know that it was like beyond her jurisdiction. Like, you can't stop God's plan. You can't, so, but she didn't know it was that deep. She thought that she was just teaching divine feminine a lesson. The stud thought she was teaching divine feminine a lesson too. The stud thought was like, that they was together, so why would you try to get pregnant by him, or whatever the case may be, or however it went. But when divine feminine is sent to these men that have girlfriends, it's because the men really don't want to be with their girl no more, because they get a taste of divine feminine's energy and they like, oh, I like that. It's genuine, it's helpful, it's smart, it's funny, it's like, it challenged my mind as to where these karmics are boring. It's like every relationship this masculine gets into, they just smoke, or they just have sex, and that's it. They're not trying to go places, they're not trying to do things, and none of that stuff. And he needs to realize that it wasn't until divine feminine came around that these karmics started changing their ways. Because I remember the baby mama too saying something like she went to this dude and she took his $40 and she didn't have to do nothing with him. She just, whatever. And it's like, why even bring that up? What makes you say something like that? And it didn't make sense to me then, but it makes sense to me now, because she was trying to say, like, she was trying to portray as divine feminine, because the energies that was going around is like the masculine was telepathically communicating to divine feminine, like, you don't do that stuff, do you? Or maybe he was just looking at divine feminine thinking, and the baby BM number 2 saw divine masculine looking at divine feminine. I was like, wow. And then I was getting a download about something because I was feeling the energy. And then the masculine hand me the phone and tell me, like, we finna dip off and go do our own thing. But before he gave me the phone, his BM had the phone. So it's like, you knew we was hooking up and linking up and stuff. So I felt like, since you bisexual, you really don't care about this man, and that's why y'all relationship dying out. They keep telling me to shut up. But so because they didn't trust the process, or they tried to control the situation, tried to stop divine masculine from leaving when he was really supposed to go to this divine feminine, until they let this masculine go, what's that? They will have no sense of direction. And he not, like, he proposed, y'all might be engaged or whatever, but he not really gonna commit to you and marry you. Like, I don't know, I ain't gonna speak on it. But also, I was just reading a reader, and she said something about your parents. If you are a girl, like, yeah, that your mom tried to stop you and your masculine's connection because she didn't want you to get married before her. So she tried to stop the process of that happening by putting you in a low vibration to make you feel unattractive and all this stuff, so that you could miss out on your masculine, that you'll forever be alone. And it's like, when you come across your masculine and you don't know that it's him, or if you're distracted by it or whatever, you could miss that opportunity because you probably turned your masculine off. Like, whatever you did, it made your masculine look at you like, ugh. But then, yeah. So then you spend the rest of your life trying to find this masculine, but you already came across him. And because your parent could have been, like, just out there with everybody, she don't know who her masculine is. And it's to the point where however many partners she had, most of them are already in a relationship. They're already established. So it's like she mad because she wish she would have been more conservative like you as her child. It's like, what? I lost my virginity at 14. But even then, it was like my situations were established. They were my boyfriends. Like everybody knew that we was in a relationship type stuff. So I wonder, because there was a rumor going around that I was giving head to people, because when my mom confronted me about it, it's like she was a part of it. Like, she was trying to convince me, because she knew, like, if she said something about me, that I would prove it to be right. Like, or maybe that was her trait. Like, I don't know. But it was a rumor that went around that I was giving head to everybody, and me and my boyfriend broke up, or he was acting funny towards me. And I'm like, what's to you? And he said, no, because I think I asked him for a kiss, and he was like, I don't do that no more. But I didn't know what he was talking about. And then when I confronted him or something like that, I told him, I was like, you know what? I don't even want to be with you no more, because you don't believe me. You don't trust me. And I didn't even do nothing, and you believe in what everybody else say. So, because with these karmics, I feel like my mom, because she can't get to me, is controlling the situation. Like, because make it seem like it's car trouble, but you could get a rental or whatever the case, I don't know, and then come to the area, because she know where I'm at, so she probably come to the area I'm at. She probably sit in the car watching me and watching who I'm hanging with and all that stuff like that, and she putting out stuff in the air, like say this, say that about her, and she'll believe it, or and then she'll actually do it, or just but yeah.